All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. It's good to be back, man. Last day with the Christmas tree back there. We'll get that Christmas tree down after today. I forgot to take it down. How we doing? Welcome back. Happy Monday. Hope you guys are having a good morning. Hope you had a good weekend. I've been sneezing a lot lately. I don't know why. Excuse me. Allergies are really getting to me these last few weeks. I don't know what it is. Not sick. I feel absolutely great, but I just can't stop sneezing. So that's what I'm dealing with over here. Welcome back, guys. Morning, Chef. Morning, Brian. Morning, Mighty. Sid, Margin, John, Fade. What's up, guys? How we doing? Alrighty. Thanks, Margin. Welcome back. The pollen levels, are they high? If that's the case, then that is why, because over the last 2 weeks, it's been nonstop. I'm actually curious. I want to look this up. Are the pollen levels just out of control right now? National Allergy Forecast. Wow, there's a website for the National Allergy Forecast. Yeah, look at this. It's actually elevated in Florida right now. Damn. You know what? It looks like it's ever since I went to Orlando. And take a look at this. Thanks. Appreciate that. Ever since I changed the output. But what I was saying, since you didn't hear anything, looks like it went into the heart of the storm on the allergy side, Orlando. But anyways, sorry about that. When I changed the scene, the mic changed. Yeah, we're good now. There's one scene. There's the next scene. All right. Perfect. Yeah, OBS sometimes changes the mics per the scene. Okay, so let's get started. If you guys could, press that like button as you jump in. Subscribe to the channel. Let's start with the economic calendar. There's really not much. One thing to point out, guys, the market is closed Thursday, so make sure you know that. Market closed Thursday. We won't have anything going on. New Year's Day. Happy New Year's to everyone. Friday, we will show up here, but it'll probably be a pretty slow day as well. So really, it's really just the first 3 days of the week, right? It's today, it's tomorrow, it's Wednesday. Market's closed Thursday, and Friday is probably going to be a pretty chill, nothing day after that New Year's. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but for me, I'm going to take it sort of relaxed as we probably put all of our sort of, we really push hard and we start hard this week of January. This is really the first week of our trading year, so don't really want to start it incorrectly on this Friday, pushing something that's not necessary to push in probably a lower volume environment. So just, maybe some way to think about your week this week. I'd say your week this week as a trader is probably Monday through Wednesday, and you think of the rest of the week as sort of a non-event. That's sort of how I'm approaching it. So today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, pretty much days off, and we start our year January 5th, Monday of next week. Okay? That's how I'm thinking about it. Now, of course, you do what you want to do. All right. In terms of earnings, there's nothing out there, so really no interest there in terms of earnings. Excuse me. My nose it's not good this morning. So let's get started. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and talk about what we're seeing here. Let's start on the NASDAQ futures, and I want to point out to you guys a very key spot this morning. So for me, the most important spot on the NASDAQ futures this morning is 25,777 to 25,800. That is the Monday high to Wednesday's lows. That is the most important spot to be watching on the NQ this morning. You can see right here, last Monday, we had a high at 25,794, and last Wednesday, we had a low right around this 25,777, and you can see this morning that we failed below that level, and we are now rejecting that zone, right? So this is very, very important right now as we speak. You have failed below Monday's lows. You have failed back below these the Monday highs. You have failed below the Wednesday's lows, and you have turned that area for now into a rejection point. If that stays as a rejection point, I would assume that the NASDAQ likely wants to give back a good portion of this Tuesday's move. For me, that's right back down into our demand between 25.6 and 25.668. I think that is a very, very real possibility today, and that would give us the pullback that we've been looking for on the NASDAQ futures. So if you zoom out on the 4-hour chart, I think it is very proper for the NASDAQ futures to pull back into this zone. It's the lows right here. It's these highs. It's these lows. It's these highs. It's these highs. You can see we sort of just squeezed up above that, and I don't mind giving some of that back to create a higher low or to create some kind of a retracement move. So for me, I am very interested in whether the NASDAQ does retrace back into this area. The other thing I am cautious of here today, and I would stay cautious of in general on the NASDAQ futures, is this move right here from Friday of 2 weeks ago. You can see here on Friday, we did not retest any of these breakout points, right? So we sort of just squeezed straight up. It's probably leaving behind a nice low volume area here. And so I think there is a possibility that you might need to give back some of that move. Man, I'm going to have to take an allergy pill today. I'm getting messed up. So that is something I am very cautious of. If you look at this 4-hour chart, take a look at this 4-hour chart. Look at this area right here. This area concerns me. Just it is what it is, right? That area definitely gives me a little bit of a hesitation to what to expect in that area. Let me go ahead and see if there's anything on the volume profile there. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit lighter on the volume profile in that area. You can see most of the volume has been transacted up towards these highs. It's a little bit light in here, right? You can see right in here, pretty much just a straight up move. So I am definitely cautious of whether we need to give some of that back, right? Do we need to retrace? And this really is the most important flip level right here, around 25,400. You see this right here? 25,4 lows, 25,4 highs, highs, and then look what happened once you got over it. You squeeze straight up. So what I would have more preferred there, right? What you usually prefer in the market is for it to break it, right? Retest it, turn it into higher lows, and then continue higher, right? On a nice higher low break and retest, right? Here's your highs, here's your retest, break, retest, long. But what did we do? We sort of just skipped over that level, reclaimed this level, and now we've been maintaining above this high. So the question is, do we need to give back some of this straight up move? That's something that I'm sort of keeping on watch. I'm not going to trade based off of that. I'm not going to look for the downside just because of that. But if we do fail this low at 25.6, I think you have a great, and I mean great, A-plus short opportunity under 25.6 into 25.4. I think this is a fantastic look. Under these highs, under these lows, I love the short through this area. Right here. Rejections of 25.6 down to 25.4. I think that's a fantastic 200-point zone to be paying attention to on the NASDAQ futures. Now, the only way we get there is if we reject this high. If we turn this high right here on Monday and these lows from Wednesday into rejections today. That's the only way we start to navigate towards that level. So that is why this is so important today. You need to pay attention to what happens here. Right now, you can see a very clear rejection below that level. You do have the daily 20. You do have the daily 50. And so for me, that short here would only be a target down into this demand. And then the next trade would be a short under 25.6 into 25.4, right? So you have trade 1, right? Maybe right here. And then trade 2 is right here. But then, of course, you got to be careful of maybe this just being a pullback long, right? Holding here, reclaiming here, longing on the reclaim. So nice levels, beautiful levels. We just need to now watch what happens on the intraday and take a look at what the action is at our levels. So 25,777, 25.8, key rejection point. 25.6 area, key demand. Under 25.6, love the downside towards the 25.4. Okay. S&P 500. Now, here's the thing that's divergent, right? There's a little bit of divergence on the ES. The ES has definitely been stronger than the NASDAQ futures lately. You had some, outperformance in tech. You've had some outperformance in surrounding sectors versus tech. I'm sorry, not tech. You had some strength in XLV, healthcare, right? You've had some healthcare strength. You have a lot of bank strength, so XLF. So you've been getting some healthcare and bank strength, which has been helping this ES be stronger than the NASDAQ as of late. And so we'll see if that continues. For the ES, there is a very clear level today, and it's 69.50. You got to hold this high. 69.50, 69.50, 69.50, 69.50. That is the level that I need to see hold today. If you break under 69.50, I think you can continue lower. Holding 69.50 would be a hold over these 4-hour highs, and that could be the reason we continue higher today. All right, if we see strong holds at 69.50 and this thing makes a higher low and continues higher, that would be your target up towards 7,000, 7,010. That's if 69.50 holds strong. You can see that it is absolutely battling this morning. Right here, 69.50 to 69.57 is the battle zone. This is the zone that has to hold for the bulls. If you hold here and see a nice push, this could be a nice continuation move. If you fail under 69.50, my guess is that you see us start to navigate back down towards maybe this daily 20 and that Tuesday low, that Monday low area. That's sort of where I'd be looking for that to pull back to. So for me, 69.50 is one of the most important levels of the day. That is these previous highs, these previous highs, these previous highs. If you fail back under that, I think you could see a little bit of a slip towards that daily 20 spot. So that is definitely a big spot to be watching today. S&P 500 SPY. You can see the SPY is now rejecting the previous all-time highs. So you can see right here, previous rejections, and look what the SPY is doing now. So that is definitely a rejection area I would be cautious of today. There is a very clear spot that I want to see the SPY back to. It's probably my top #1 spot to look for, and it's 685, 686 on the SPY. That's just, to me, the best pullback long to look for in this market. Previous highs here, previous highs here, previous highs, 685, 686, right? Give back sort of this frothy upside move. Give back this Tuesday straight up. Give back this Wednesday straight up, all on very low volume. Sort of holiday just sort of grinds higher. Give it back. I don't want anything of it. Give me that pullback back to 685, 686. Just get it over with, right? Pull the cord, drop it back to that level. Let's reset back at these key demands, right? At these previous highs. Let's reset on the daily 20 SMA, and then let's see if we can create that new long opportunity. So for me, I hate the long here on the SPY. It doesn't make any sense to me, to be honest. These rejections are very clear. I need this this pullback level. I will not be taking longs today if we are just sitting here on the SPY right into previous all-time highs with this very frothy and very low volume sort of straight up move from the last week. I don't like it. So for me, I want this 685, 686. That's the level I'm looking for. If we get that, then maybe we can start to sort of formulate some long opportunities. Until then, I'd be more interested in seeing if I can catch a fade back towards that level. That would be more interesting to me today. Another reason why I just really don't like the longs is when you look at the QQQ, guys. There's really just no reason to be long into this QQQ high. We talked about this on Friday of last week. It's pretty damn clear, right? Major rejections, and take a look at this rejection again. Failure. Very clear failure, 626, 629, right? Rejecting all of these highs, and here we are again rejecting that high. So that really just doesn't make any sense. You can't really go to your fund manager and say, hey, man, I'm going to long into this exact rejection point from earlier in December, right? So really not interested in that. Maybe a daily 20 SMA hold today, right? Maybe daily 20 holds, maybe some Tuesday lows, some Monday lows. And for me, I like a pullback personally to the 615, 613 zone, right? I love this pullback. I love it back to these highs. I like that demand zone down there. That's really where I think you want to be sort of set up long in this market. Without that, you're longing right into these major highs up here, which is very clearly major failures from the past. So I just don't think it makes sense to set up a long into that. If you get above 626, 629, then absolutely we're looking for that long into all-time highs. No doubt about it, right? If you get above that, then you're looking straight to all-time highs over 626, over 629. Until then, I think you back off the long side and you're cautious of where a nice pullback could come in. S&P 500, 6950. NASDAQ futures really is going to show you the way depending on what happens at this level right here, right? If the NASDAQ futures continues to reject there, I think it's pretty clear that you're going to start to navigate back towards some of these lows, and in my opinion, 25,600. So let's see what happens, right? The freaky thing that could happen today is just some kind of rip, right? Some rip, a reclaim of this level, and then just straight up, right? That's sort of the other option is you just get some kind of random rip higher. You reclaim Monday's highs. You reclaim these Wednesday's lows. You hold them strong, and this thing just sort of navigates again to the upside. So that's very possible as well. But I would, that's something you can look for, of course. Okay. All right. That's the futures. If you guys could, please press that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. Gonna need your help to continue to grow this year of 2026. I need your support. I need your likes. I need your subscribes. If you guys could, please help me out. That would be much appreciated. It's probably a good time to tell you. Down in the description below, we are running the 26% off into 2026. So if you want to join the community into 2026, you have 26% off until New Year's Eve. That is down in the description below. There's no code necessary. Just go to the links in the description and it'll already be discounted if you are interested in joining. Also, something to note, the free morning watch list, that is going away in 2026. So there is no more free lunch, no more free morning watch lists. If you are a part of it, you will stay a part of it. If you do not join it by December 31st, then it will no longer be available. So if you ever wanted to join the free morning watch list where you get, a free watch list from me every morning, it's now or never. That's going away. No longer doing that. That will be for the key levels members and the main members as well. So if you ever wanted to be a part of that, now is the time. All right, let's get moving on to the IWM. IWM has been pretty much sideways here for quite some time. You can see previous lows, just sort of consolidating. If the IWM breaks under 250, I think it could see lower. Right now, you're sort of pulling back. It's not bad, right? It looks sort of like a bull flag to me. But you definitely need to see this 250 low hold very strong today, right? 250 lows right here, right? 250 lows here. You need to see that sort of push off that 250. If you don't get that 250 hold, a little bit concerning. So IWM 250, watch that level. SMH, I love this pullback on SMH today. Could be nice to see if we can get a nice hold here. 360, 361, previous highs, previous lows. I don't mind this pullback on SMH today. So if that SMH can hold strong, I think you do have a reason to think that the market can hold strong as well. This is a nice pullback area on the SMH, 360 to 361, previous daily 20 right here, previous highs. Pullback long is what we've been looking for on the SMH. If you guys came on Friday, we were talking about this pullback opportunity. We were talking about these highs here, these lows here, and this area right here. So 360 in the daily 20 is definitely the spot to watch for the SMH. Let's go over to Bitcoin because there's a little bit of concern for me on Bitcoin here. Very nasty fade again. Bitcoin has faded every upside move, and I am a little bit concerned that it might need another leg lower. Right? I think my opinion is starting to change at least. Not a very pretty sort of bear flag potential move here. Definitely. Also, the overnight move that we saw pop got immediately faded. These daily chart rejections do not look good at all to me, right? Look at the upside of these daily candles. That's ugly. And you can see just like this pop overnight, completely faded. So, Bitcoin's a little bit dangerous here to me. I'm not a big fan of the upside on it at the current moment. And you are seeing some weakness on some equities because of it, right? Coinbase, very close to the gap fill level. Circle, very weak. Potentially a downside thing to be watching. Hood is weak this morning. I'm sure MSTR is getting smoked. It continues to get smoked. So I'd be looking out for a little bit of crypto weakness today. I think that is a spot to be watching. I think it's a little bit of an area to keep an eye out for today. So I'll talk about some of those in a second. In terms of the metals, you guys know silver's been having an absolute crazy run, but it is pulling back pretty aggressively this morning. We've been talking about this gold pullback, man. We've been saying it's going to pull back. It's going to pull back. You have to wait for it. And you can see here it is, right? Here's the pullback. So this is now the opportunity to look to see if this is a pullback long. This is not the time to now short gold into a deep pullback because it's down this morning. So if gold is going to stay on this trend, you can see in the past, right? It's had crazy downside. It's had downside. It's had downside. Here's downside again. But what is every single downside turned into? A pullback long, a pullback long, a pullback long, and potentially another pullback long. So I would not go out today and start shorting gold because you woke up to it down this morning. I think that is the worst thing to possibly do. If gold just sort of tanks today, then, that's just an anomaly. The right thing to look for today is to see whether this turns into a pullback long opportunity in my book. So I would be watching these highs here at 44.34. I would be watching these highs here at 43.87. And I would be watching inside of this zone to see if buyers start to step up again. right? This is exactly what I would be looking for today. I would not be looking to short back into the all-time highs and back into these highs. That does not make sense. I would be very careful of that. So I would not short back into all-time highs, and I would not short back into these highs here. If anything, this is the zone that I would look to see and try to answer, are buyers stepping up, right? Absu. Are buyers stepping up, right? That's the question that you want to answer inside of this zone today. Now, you're going to have to be patient. You're going to have to look to see what happens. You're not going to just instantly buy gold longs once it hits that level. You're going to be looking to see what happens inside of that zone. So that would be my read today. Jack Mounts, appreciate that, man. Thank you, Jack, for supporting the stream, brother. Thank you. Honestly, what I might start, it's actually not a bad idea. I'm going to try to, one of my goals for 2026, guys, is to make that stream supporter more valuable to you guys. So if you have any ideas, feel free to email me. I want to try to, YouTube definitely limits what I can do with the perks, but maybe I move over like that morning watch list or the key levels to people that maybe support the live stream, right? Something like that. So, that's a goal of mine. Try to improve the offer for that stream supporter. So thank you, Jack, for that. Silver pullbacks. I like this. Can anyone tell me also what the difference between SIL and SI is? The price is the exact same. It seems to me like it's the exact same, but it looks like the only thing that changes is 1,000 ounces. So I guess it's like I don't know exactly what it is, but the price is the exact same. So I'm not sure exactly what the difference is, but anyways. Silver, 72.76. These previous highs, this is what I would be watching to see if there's a pullback long right here. 72.76 right here, previous highs. Here's your lows. I would be watching to see what happens at that level. So 72.76, below that 70. Those are two big spots I would be watching on pullbacks for silver. Of course, this move is going to be given back. Let's not act like that is a shock this morning. I mean, if we think that it's crazy that a precious metal went up 11% and gave it back, then we are in Looney Town. That's not surprising at all. So now let's see what happens. 72.76. Let's look for 70. If we start breaking below this 72.76, then there is downside to look for continuation to the downside. So again, just play your levels, right? Keep an even head and play your levels. Okay, appreciate that, Lava. So it's just a matter of a different size. Got it. Okay, so SIL is the micro, basically. Got it. SIL is basically the micro of silver. That makes sense. QI is like half. Interesting. So they have 5,000 troy ounces, 2,500 troy ounces, and 1,000 troy ounces. Okay. Thank you, Lava. Lava, can you post that in the futures chat? That might be helpful for some people. Just so that we all understand the difference between all those futures contracts. I that's new to me. That's the first time I ever really looked at silver was the last few weeks. So, all right, let's continue. Let's go to GLD real quick, just so for the option boys, we can get an understanding of what we're looking for on GLD. On GLD, you're looking for a pullback between, in my opinion, that 400 to 403 area, right? That's the area you want to see if the buyers step back up. Right between this 400 to 403 area, that is your retest of all-time highs, right? There's nothing bearish about this move today on gold, right? It is a pullback to these previous highs. It's a pullback to this breakout point. This is a great pullback. This is a necessary pullback. This is the pullback that all the people that were chasing the all-time highs, that they have to sit here very uncomfortable this morning and accept their fate that they are chasing the highs, right? This is exactly what this is. There's nothing wrong with this. This is exactly what we talk about all the time. The pullback and the retest will happen, and it will likely happen when a lot of people get caught off sides, right? So this is that pullback that you're probably going to see back to the 403, 400, which will then develop, another one of these pullback long opportunities, most likely, and we'll be, there to look to see if it occurs. But we don't get interested until it hits the retest, okay? So that's what I would be looking for today on the futures on gold and silver. Don't go with the herd and start shorting at the highs unless you start breaking these levels, right? If you start breaking these levels, then of course, maybe there is a reason to look short side. If you see a failure under 72.76, then I would say yes, there is a reason to look short side underneath that level, but we're still above it. So, all right. If you guys could, please press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's jump into some equities. Let's start with Tesla. So, really nice look today. I'm not sure I'm going to be out there trading Tesla today, but we'll see. We do have data at 10 o'clock today, so I'm a little bit cautious for the first 30. But, man, there is a very interesting opportunity for you folks here today on Tesla. You have a very clear buck tooth in volume, right? Like, let's call this the buck teeth right here. It's very clear, right? Look at this valley in price action. Mountain, valley, mountain, valley. Look at this area on Tesla, man. Under 474 into 460 looks pretty much immediate. If you can see rejections of 474 today, if you get a little pop and fade at 474, boy, oh boy, do I like that downside towards 460. So this is a very nice look. Volume profile confirms the look. Let's see if we can stay under 474. You can't reclaim it. If you reclaim 474, then you're going to push higher, and this is going to be a trap. So let's see what happens at 474. We need some confirmation that rejects. If it does, man, is that an interesting watch today. So keep an eye on that Tesla low volume. Nvidia, very clear. I already talked about what this needs to do. We need a pullback to this 184.50. That's it. There's no other thing to say. I'm not going to long it unless it pulls back to 184.50. That's the weekly breakout point that we've been talking about for months now. It broke out of it on Tuesday, straight up. You do not trust a straight up breakout here. Wait for the retest. Get the pullback along the setup. Waiting for 184.50. No questions asked about that one. Very headstrong on that idea. AMD, it's been sort of I don't mind this 209, 210 zone right here. These highs, these lows, this little low here from Friday. I don't mind this area to see if it can create a little pullback along here, but not much, man. I think more than anything, we just need to see what the SMH does today. That's really the most important thing to me. And then what the NASDAQ does, right, underneath this key level. I'm not a big fan of AMD there. I'm not a big fan of TSM. It's sort of right in the center. It was good here, all right? TSM was great here off the daily 20, daily 50. I got nothing wrong with that. But guess what? The trade's over. So if you longed it off the daily 20, daily 50 here, great. GG. But at this point, not a really big fan of that entry point. So not much there. Broadcom, not bad. It's sort of trying to come back. We need to see it hold this spot, right here. 346, 347. It's got to hold this level. Look at this right here. Look at this flip. Rejections, rejections, rejections into holds, holds, holds. So you can clearly see how important this is for Broadcom, right? Look at the 3 rejections into 3 holds. You have to hold this low. You have to hold this low. If you do not hold this low, maybe a little drip into the daily 100. But if you start to see this turn into rejection points, then that is no bueno for Broadcom. I think you need to see this 346, 347 level really battle here to continue higher. MU, great pullback, right? What did we talk about MU last week when it went straight up on Wednesday? We said it's going to pull back. Let it pull back. Give it time. What has it done? It's pulled back. So these were our 2 pullback zones, right? Our 2 pullback zones on MU were 277 to 280, okay? The next one is right here at 260, 264. So these are the 2 spots I'd be watching now. Does MU create that nice pullback long today? Or does MU maybe need a little bit more drip into this previous all-time high around 265? So keeping eyes on these 2 levels today on MU. I like the pullbacks. This is exactly what it should be doing. You cannot hold these types of moves on the market. Pullbacks will come in. So this is very good. Now we watch to see what happens at those pullbacks. Okay, let's continue. Let's go to the crypto moves. So let's take a look at that crypto weakness. Yeah, crypto, Coinbase looks very weak this morning. Really dead looking chart. This rejection is perfect off the daily 200 SMA, by the way. That's a fantastic looking failure. And you can see, take a look at this, guys. Not a bad little opportunity here. Look at this gap here on Coinbase. Under 231.50 into 214, you have a gap that has never been filled. That is back from May of this year. So look at this right here, right here. Look at that gap. Take a look at this low that held right here. Take a look at where we're at again. 231.50, guys. Keep an eye on this level. Coinbase looks like it's probably going to navigate into that spot today. Look how close we are. So if Coinbase gets into here, man, you might, and if you get a nice little Bitcoin 2, 3, 4% downside move, Coinbase could be getting smoked through that gap. So that is definitely something I would be keeping eyes on. Circle, another one that looked strong, but is now starting to look like it's rejecting this 85 spot to me. Too many failures and too many attempts and that don't follow through here, right? 85, 85, 85, 85. Look at this failure now. You got this little uptrending move here. If this starts to break, right? If you break under like this 75 spot here, man, I think you could start to see this fail again. So, yeah, definitely keep an eye on. This is all dependent on what crypto does, right? It is all dependent on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin is weak today, if crypto looks weak today, you're watching Circle downside, you're watching Coinbase downside, and I think you're even watching Hood downside. Take a look at this Hood spot. You have Hood that created this bear flag, right? Look at the little bear flag look into that daily 20, daily 100, which is rejected. Look at the downside that's coming in now. If you stay under this low here from Monday, I believe it was, at 117, let me go ahead and zoom in right here. No, it was on Tuesday. See these lows from Tuesday right here? Right there. You could be looking at maybe another move back down into that 112, 113 spot. So it all depends on what crypto's looking like today. I would be watching this sector. I think it's a very interesting sector to watch today. Palantir, pretty nasty rejections here, man. 196 failure, 196 failure. You're back under 190. If you see 190 rejections today, I don't hate that look. So keep an eye on 190. That looks pretty nasty. Costco. Yeah, Costco comeback. Team Cost. Definitely intrigued, man. Definitely intrigued. I want to keep an eye on Costco. It's been a big downside move. It's been a very slow and very continuous downside move over the last few months. You have swept below these weekly lows, but guess what? You have reclaimed them. So this is super interesting to me. Let me go ahead and mark out this weekly low here. This weekly low here is, what is this exact low? 871.71. You have these weekly lows here, 867. Yeah, I mean, if you start to see Costco turning back up above this 867, 861 spot, I am definitely intrigued by a long-term Costco look. Maybe some shares, but I am definitely intrigued by this low and these weekly lows turning back into support after sweeping it right here, right? You swept these lows, and you're reclaiming those lows. If you stay above that area now, I'm intrigued, right? And that area, look at that area, guys. That area that we just created on Costco on the weekly chart is the exact zone that it's holding this morning. That is not by some magical coincidence, right? Look at the weekly chart we just looked at. You have these lows here. I'm going to do it again for you, right? This is how you get confident in setups. You grab these lows here on the weekly, right? Right here. And you're grabbing these lows, these triple bottom lows in the weekly here. Now, what you're doing is you're putting a little bit of a demand zone between those lows, right? Which is right here. We're creating that demand zone between those lows. And now we're going into the 5-minute chart and take a look at that zone. It is right here. It is exactly where Costco's holding. So this is pretty damn interesting. And I would absolutely be paying attention to this. If Costco can stay strong here, if Costco can reclaim this, I think you could see 888. And if you break over that 888, you can get even more. So, yeah, I'm keeping eyes on Cost. Team Cost is back for 2026. I got no reason to think that Costco should continue to move lower if it holds that level. So, keeping close eyes on this. Let's see if this weekly chart pullback provides an opportunity. We'll see. All right. All we can do is watch at this point. So let's just track it. Let's not lose sight of it. All right. IBM was in question this morning. Let me go ahead and take a look. IBM. Let me take a look at IBM. You got a nice hold over these daily highs here. Yeah. It's a nice little retest hold there, right? That 295 spot. That's not a bad look. That's probably where you'd want to be long off of, right there. These highs right here. These highs right here. Take a look at this hold. Take a look at this hold. Not bad. Now, of course, you do have this, these highs up here, so it could just be sort of a sideways channel. That's very possible as well, right? Could just sort of be channeling here. But this is really the level you want to see hold, 295. Netflix, let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, Netflix comeback is definitely something that continues to intrigue me. There's no doubt about it. Okay, so we got a weekly chart. Let me take a look at this. You got a weekly chart low. Yeah, you swept that previous weekly low there, right? You sort of held up above that 92 spot. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear what you need to see happen here, right? You need to get over this 97.36, right? You need to get over this 97.36 right here. And that, oh yeah, and the daily 20. That would be beautiful. That would be so beautiful. Just wait for this, okay? Put an alert. Don't get antsy. Wait for this right here. You get that? That's pretty interesting. 97.36, daily 20. You need a reclaim of that spot, okay? All right, guys. So I think these rejections are looking pretty damn clear this morning on the NQ. I mean, this spot is about as clean as it gets. That is a very clear failure for now. You do have the daily 20 below. You do have the daily 50 below. So there's definitely some pockets of demand. But man, oh man, a failure back under that Wednesday low and this Monday high is definitely showing there. So I would be very focused on that. I'm going to mark that out on the QQQ as well, right? Monday's highs. That's right. Okay, that's 621.65. Yep, that's right there. Okay, so 621.65 on the Qs. You can see Monday's highs, this Wednesday low. Look at the failures right at it today. 621.65 to 622 area is sort of how I'd mark that out, just to have that 622 spot as well. Sort of a psychological number there on the QQQ. I'd pop in a little bit of a rejection point there. 621.65 to 622. That's pretty damn clean. Daily 20 is probably a target. Tuesday's lows is probably a target if that level stays as a rejection. The only thing that saves this market today from that downside rejection is whether 69.50 just absolutely holds like a beast today. That's the only option. 69.50 could hold like a beast. I would be careful of that. But if you fail under that 69.50 today, then you're probably going to get that cues to follow through on that rejection. So keeping eyes on that very closely. If you guys could, before we head out, please press that like button. Let me go ahead and mark out this. Yeah, let me mark out that Tuesday high there. Okay, so there's your Tuesday high. Tuesday high day. Boom. That's where you're holding right now. Tuesday high day on SPY. If you guys could, press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Help me get to 1,000 likes. Looks like we're still a little bit light on the viewers. I don't know if YouTube is crushing the YouTube live stream or not, or if it's just the holidays, but we're a little bit light on the views this morning. So looks like we're getting a good amount of likes, though, so it looks like the loyal people are still showing up. Appreciate that, guys. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for stopping by. If you could, press that like button. If you want to join the community, check out the links down below. I hope you have a fantastic trading day, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.